Hello and welcome to this SPSS one-on-one series with the word analytics. Today we look at the chi-square test for independence. This test is very commonly used in running bivariate analysis for categorical variables. Maybe you're doing factors associated. So let's see how it is run on the PC. In this episode, we are using a sample data set that comes pre-installed with SPSS, which you can access on your computer and follow through the steps. To get the data set, simply go to File, Open Data, and locate the installation folder for SPSS, which is usually under this PC, the partition with Windows, which is local disk C. Look for program files, open and locate IBM, then open SPSS, statistics, again open. You will see a number corresponding to your version of SPSS. Go ahead and open, and then look for the samples folder, open it, and select the language. Today we are using the ADL dataset. Click on it and open. Today our focus is going to be on two variables. One is called diabetic, which is the diabetes mellitus status, whether someone does not have diabetes or whether someone has diabetes mellitus for a yes. The second one is going to be PSD, which is for post-stroke depression, where there is a no for someone who doesn't have and yes for someone who has post-stroke depression. And the hypotheses we are testing here are: one is the null hypothesis, which states that there is no relationship between the variable diabetic and the variable post-stroke depression. Whereas the alternative says there is a relationship between diabetes mellitus and post-stroke depression. It means the alternative is suggesting that these two are not independent of each other. Whereas the null told us that there is no relationship between the two variables, meaning the null is telling us that these are independent variables. Hence the name chi-square for independence. You are testing whether these two variables are independent, or the alternative says there is a relationship, meaning the two variables are not independent. So let's go to the computer and see how it is run. To run the chi-square test for independence, simply go to Analyze, go to Descriptive Statistics, and then select the cross tabs. So this is the window where we set up the chi-square test for independence. The rows contain the independent variable, which we think influence the outcome. In this case, it is diabetes mellitus, so we push it there. So the columns contain the outcome variable. In this case, it is the PSD, or the post-stroke depression. This is the variable name, whereas this is the variable label. So PSD will go into the columns. Under statistics, you're going to select chi-square and then click continue. Under cells, I want you to select expected and continue. Then say, once everything is set, just click OK. First, you will have the case processing summary telling you the sample size you're having, whether you have any missing, and the total. From our contingents table, we can see that those who are not diabetic are 85, but among those 85, 59 do not have post-stroke depression, whereas 26 have. Similar thing for those who had diabetes mellitus, who were 15, 7 did not have PSD, whereas 8 had PSD. You will also have an expected count column. Remember, a chi-square test in principle test compares the observed frequencies versus the expected frequencies to see whether these are similar. If they are similar, then you fail to reject the null. So after the contingents table, you will see the chi-square test. Before you interpret the chi-square test for independence, these are 4 things that you should ensure that you've checked and they have passed. Number one relates to how you code your outcome variable. Here our outcome variable is post-stroke depression, and we have a no and a yes. So whatever we are going to interpret is in relation to the first column, which is a no. In this case, we are going to interpret odds or likelihood of not having post-stroke depression. It may not make the logical sense, but for demonstration purposes. However, if we had wanted to predict the likelihood of having post-stroke depression, whether diabetes mellitus increases the likelihood of having depression, then we would have to reverse the coding of this post-stroke depression so that what you want to predict has the lowest code. If you do not know how to, we have an earlier video about that. The link is up on your screen. Be sure to check it out. So the second condition that you have to ensure that you have met is related to the three assumptions of chi-square. And the first assumption is, are the two variables categorical? When you look at diabetes mellitus, these are categories yes and no. And when you look at our outcome, it's also a categorical variable, no and yes. So that assumption has been passed. The third condition, which is actually the second assumption of chi-square test, is none of the expected frequencies should be less than 2. When you look at in each cell no versus no, this is what you've observed, the count, but the expected is 56. Whereas the expected here is 28, then this is 9.9, this is 5.2. So none of the expected counts in your cells should be less than 2. So this one, it has passed. The third assumption says not more than 20% of your cells should have expected frequencies less than 5. For this 2 by 2, we only have 4 cells of expected frequency. So each cell literally accounts for 25%. So if any of your cells has less than 5, that is already violating chi-square test. There we would use a Fisher's exact test, as we shall see in our subsequent videos. Here we can see that none of our cells have expected frequencies less than 5, so we have passed that assumption. We can go ahead and start interpreting our chi-square test. So under the chi-square test results, we can see that the Pearson chi-square value is 2.9 with 1 degree of freedom, and the asymptomatic significance, which is the p-value, is 0.08, which is above our significance level, which is usually set at 0.05. In this case, we have to remember our hypothesis. The null was saying there is no relationship between diabetic status and post-stroke depression. So with a p-value of 0.08, it tells we fail to reject this null. We do not have sufficient evidence to reject this null. So the null remains. It means these two are not related, like they are independent. Okay? If the p-value was less than 0.05, we would reject the null hypothesis, and actually our data is telling us that we have sufficient evidence to say that there is a relationship between diabetic status and PSD. So that's how you run a chi-square test for independence and how to interpret it. Let me show you some additional details that you can still get from this cross-tabulation window for reporting in your research. To run a chi-square test, you go to descriptives, you go to analyze, descriptive, and select cross-tabs. Then here is what we set. You can also have under the cells, you can have your row and column percentages. You can have row, column, you may need total percentages. Say continue. And statistics, you may also need to check the risk. Click on risk here and continue. Once everything is set, say OK. Besides the rows for count and expected count, we also have the percentages within diabetes mellitus, telling us that, yeah, 59 out of 85 times 100 will give you 69.4, whereas 26 out of 85 times 100 will give you 30.6. So within diabetes mellitus, this should add to 100. The second row is within post-stroke here, within now the column. You have 59 out of the total 66 times 100, and you will have this value 89.6. This one and this one should add up to 100 column wise. But we also have a total which gets this 59 out of this total 100 times 100, and you get 59. So when you add this plus here, these totals, you should end up with 100. Here, the odds ratios is 2.5, but for an odds ratio, it should be something, a numerator over a denominator. So we have the odds for those who do not have diabetes over those who have diabetes. So those without diabetes compared to those with diabetes were 2.59 times more likely not to have post-stroke depression. Here now is the whole picture where we started with the first condition. The coding matters. The interpretation here is depending on how we've coded. We are having an odds ratio, but that odds ratio is predicting the first level of the outcome. Here we are saying the odds ratios are 2.5. People who do not have diabetes were 2.5 times, almost 3 times, more likely not to have depression than those who had diabetes. So we are comparing the no group over the yes group. Like the yes group is the comparison group here. So lastly, let me show you how you run the multiple tests at once, and then how to present those results into your table for your results section. So if we wanted to run more than one independent variables at once, we could go to analyze, descriptives, cross tabs, and then under rows we would add more. Maybe we want treatment group and any other. Under cells, usually I say continue and then click OK. So at the end of the day, after your analysis, this is the kind of output probably your supervisor would like to see. You want to have, maybe this is bivariate analysis of the factors associated for post-stroke depression. And one of the factors is diabetes, another factor is treatment group. So from this analysis, we are picking out a few things. When you look at the first one for diabetes mellitus, if I click on cross tab, you see that under the no, we had 59. I've pulled out the 59, and its percentage is 69.4. It is here in brackets. For the yes, it was 26, and the percentage is here 30.6. So you do that and you have your complete table. These are the odds ratios you obtain from chi-square. Those are crude odds ratios. They have not been adjusted for other factors. You're just looking at factor one, independent variable versus the outcome, but not looking at the effect of other variables on that outcome. So once you bring in other variables under multivariable analysis, like we shall see in our subsequent videos of logistic regression, this is where you control for other extraneous variables. So for now, just know the odds ratios that you obtain from the chi-square are crude odds ratios, and you also have a column for p-value, which you will pick from the odds ratios come from the risk estimate. This is 2.59, and we said it is the no group being compared to yes. That's why we've said the no group being compared to yes is the one we are calling the reference category. And the p-value, we are obtaining it from the chi-square test, the asymptomatic significance. So we put it there, we compile one table. Whether you had 20 variables, you would just have one table presented for your results. So in this video, we've looked at the chi-square test for independence, the assumptions that you have to first check before you interpret the results of chi-square, and how do you now pick out the key information from those outputs into one single table that you can present for your dissertation. So in our next video, we look at the Manto-Henzo chi-square test, which is one of the ways you can use to obtain adjusted odds ratios. Remember here, we've just looked at how to obtain crude odds ratios, but in the Manto-Henzo chi-square, it allows you to adjust for another third variable to assess the relationship between two categorical variables. So don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss out any of these episodes. See you in the next video.